Sure that you are letting go, clearing the space for what's new, because ultimately, when you're trying to create something new, you're trying to manifest something new, it can't be built on top of what's old. It has to be demolitioned, what's already there, in order for new to be able. Hello and welcome back to Creative AF Divine Flow with your host, Miss Creative AF. Whether you listening or watching, we want you to know. Okay. Whether you're listening or watching, we want you to know that it is our express desire to ignite your inner fire so that you can create the life that you desire. Amen. Okay, so this week we are talking about letting go. Last week we talked about taking action. Taking action to let go. Surprise. Surprise. Surprise, I'm going to make these work together. Okay. No, but really, this week is about letting go. Okay, we've got a full moon coming up. It is the week of December the 18th, 2021. Saturday is December 18th. So if you're watching this later, just know that we hit it right on time, okay? Because that's how we do. So we've got a full moon coming up that is talking about letting go. And when they say letting go, what they really mean, and I'm saying they, I mean the divine, what they mean is you know better now. So are you now going to do better now that you know better? In addition to this full moon, we also have South Node in conjunction with Mars, which is about taking action. South Node is about where we came from. So we want to be moving out of where we came from into a new space. Now that you have the knowledge and the wisdom, what you going to do with it? Okay? So let's learn how to let go. I know it's not a thing that a lot of people are really, really good at. It took me a long time to release things. Now, it depends on what it is, because there was a time in my life in which I would host a funeral for somebody real quick. And I'd be like, well, he died. Time to move on. Time to move on. He died. And I don't think that was very healthy. Just going to be honest. I think that was a really, really bad coping mechanism that I had for having my heart broken or my feelings hurt. So I don't do that anymore. I practice heavily forgiveness in order to create space for love for myself. So that is too also an aspect of letting go. It could be that you are being asked to let go of different types of behaviors that don't serve you. Like maybe you know you're not supposed to be smoking. That was my thing. Maybe you're not supposed to be smoking. You know that's not helping you, but you're using it as a crutch. Maybe you know that you're not supposed to be stuffing your face with that bullshit, but you're using it as a crutch. It's comfortable to you. That's what you love. Okay, but is it really helping you? I mean, it's helping you to maintain, but is it really helping you? A lot of people smoke medicinal marijuana for various reasons, but it's excessive. And if it becomes a crutch for you, it's no longer serving you. It's hindering you from advancing. Okay. So this is what we're being asked to look at. It could also mean that you don't set boundaries. You let people steamroll you, and you're frustrated this week because you've said yes to things that you really want to say no to, and you didn't know how to speak up for yourself. So you're angry because people took advantage of you. But the bottom line is you got to let go of the part of you that doesn't speak up and have a voice. You got to get in there and be like, why are you scared to speak? What are you afraid is going to happen? And you'll hear an answer. And that's what you need to lean into, okay? In this episode, I'm going to give 5 steps to let go. 5 steps to free your soul. Hallelujah. And I'm just going to give you these 5 steps. This is what I do whenever I need to let go of anything. So, yes, we're going to get into it. But I just, like I said, wanted to say that like this week specifically, you'll be having some instances where you're like, I really should have stopped doing that. That was not doing me any service. I don't know why I kept holding on to that. It's because it needs to be brought into your awareness, into your understanding for you to let it go, honey, for you to stop doing it. Maybe there's somebody that you've been trying to carry on a relationship with and it's just over with. Stop doing it. Stop showing up for that, because Why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you have the memory of the person and you're like, I just really want this to be the thing, but maybe it's time for you to move on. We cannot keep everybody. Some guys I was talking to last night on a podcast I used to do, I went and spoke with them. They're about to shut down. So we talked about growth and, moving forward a little bit. But the thing about it really is like one of the guys said, man, I feel like 2021 was the year in which I lost a bunch of people. I had a whole bunch of relationships where we just fell out, and it is by design. Everybody can't go where you're going, and it doesn't mean that these people are bad. It just means that you're now out of alignment. Whatever you have done or whoever you have grown into does not align with this person and who they've grown into, and it could be that they're not growing because there are a lot of people who don't grow. Not everybody is going to be doing their shedding. Not everybody is going to be doing their planting and cultivating and growing. Okay, but if that's the way that you live, do you really want to be around people who aren't growing? That can also keep you from growing. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are letting go, clearing the space for what's new, because ultimately when you're trying to create something new, you're trying to manifest something new, it can't be built on top of what's old. It has to be demolitioned, what's already there, in order for new to be able to be created. Because let's look at it like soil. Okay, so you want fresh soil when you're planting, right? So you got to pull up what's already there. You got to probably bring in some new soil. I don't know. I'm not a gardener. I'm just going by what I'm seeing. And you want to make sure that the soil is fresh for what you're planting. So you can't be afraid to pull up weeds. If it's not serving you, let that shit go. All right. So let's get into the 5 steps to letting go. Okay. Here we go. So the first step is going to be to decide. I've decided. I decided, like Solange in the 2000s. I decided. That was a jam. I'm gonna have to listen to that. Anyway, I decide I'm ready to let go. I decide I'm ready to be new. I decide that I'm ready to create new space. So you can't get anywhere until you say, okay, I'm ready. And your decision to make this change or let go of this thing that's not serving you, it can be scary. I think that's like the number one thing, because how many excuses have you come up with for why you still need to do this thing that you don't need to do anymore? All of them, right? Because you probably feel like you need it. There's some need for me to hang on to this. I gotta have it. It's part of me. It's how I've always been. It's mine. I must keep it. You gotta decide whether you want to feel like you feel right now or you want to feel better. Because I guarantee you, if you're in a space where you're talking about letting go of something or moving forward, you don't feel that good right now. You don't feel that good, whether it be physically, energetically, or mentally. It might be financially, but you don't feel good right now. So you have to decide. That's the first step. I decide that I am going to shift right here. I decide I'm going to let go of these shackles that have kept me right here in this place I've always been. I decide, okay, that I'm going to let go of it. So again, I quit smoking cigarettes. I decided my cigarettes, though I was very attached to them and we have been friends a long time, were no longer good for me. So I made a choice to stop smoking cigarettes. I decided, okay? So let's get into step 2. Okay, this is going to be an amplifier for your decision. This is going to help you to be really solid about that decision. Okay, so number 2, you're going to tell the truth to it. Get you some paper. Okay, get you some paper and sit down. And I want you to write about you and the thing. Put it on the paper. Me and this person interact like. Or me and this thing interact like. Me and cigarettes do this. If your thing is addiction, something you're addicted to. Okay. Me and whatever. Me and coffee. However, okay. Me and what was I feel like there was one of those TV dads back in the day was addicted to sandwiches. So if you need, but he couldn't really eat them. So if your addiction is sandwiches and you really need to let go of that, me and sandwiches go together because this. And you will find the reason why you are still holding on to this thing. It's something that it's giving you something that soothes a part of you that needs more loving care, to be honest. And you're using it as a crutch. So you need to tell the truth to it so you can see it on paper. Damn, this is hurting me. So let's take myself and cigarettes, for example. Me and cigarettes are partners because, or we're partners because I need what? Somebody sometimes. I need somebody sometimes. And I always have cigarettes to go to. If I didn't have anybody to talk to, guess who I had? Cigarettes. I would go sit outside on the porch and be like, you know what, cigarettes? You right, cigarettes. It's such a shame these people blah 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 cigarettes. Like everything I did was me and cigarettes, me and cigarettes, me and cigarettes. But it was a crutch for me. It was a crutch for me. I was using it as a balance beam. If I got irritated, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. If I got frustrated, I'm just about to go smoke a cigarette. If I had a good moment, if I got a win, I was like, I'm going to go smoke. And, anything that I felt, I was like, I'm just going to go smoke. So all of my emotions, every time I had an emotion, I was like, let me put a cigarette on this. Every single time. But when I wrote down exactly how cigarettes were harming me, first of all, it's not good for my body. It makes me feel yucky. I don't feel good. I felt lethargic. If I hadn't smoked and then I smoked, it made me sick. My gums and teeth were under attack because I was smoking. And that was costing me money at the dentist. So like, you have to be able to look at it like, yeah, I love them for this. I love the thing for this. It does me a solid right here. But the truth is, it's harming me because this, like, all you have to do is write it on paper so you can really look at it. Because keeping it in your head, you're always going to come up with it. Yeah, but remember that time? Or, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's still, no. And when you put it on some paper, you're going to be like, I'm a damn fool. If it's a relationship, what is this person giving me back? What am I putting into the relationship? You're going to see the mass amount of energy that you're pouring into the cup, and you're going to see how little's going into the cup on their side. You're going to say, oh my God, this is not a balanced relationship. And maybe it's just a conversation, but it might also be walking away from it, especially if you've had these conversations before. But you got to look at it on paper. So that's why I say tell the truth to it. Okay. So step 3 is going to be for you to set a date for your movement. Just like they tell you when you get ready to quit smoking, set a quit date. If you need to rip the Band-Aid off of some relationship, if you need to stop participating in some bad behavior for yourself, or a poor mindset, whatever it is that you need to let go of, an old piece of yourself, something, you need to set a date for it. Because then you're like, okay, I'm preparing. You're getting prepared for this moment in which you're going to do this for yourself. So you can give yourself as much time as you need to, but don't give yourself too much time, because then that's going to be like, okay, well, we're practicing procrastination because we don't really want to do it. And you might not be ready, and that's okay too. But we're going to get into that in a few more steps. So step 3, set a date for when you want to advance or when you want to move forward or whatever you're trying to do. Okay. So step 4. You need to change your mindset about this thing that you are attached to, whatever you're trying to hold on to. And you can do that by reviewing what you told the truth to it in step 2. You can review that, and then you can create new affirmations based on what you know is now the truth. So instead of looking at it like, oh, this thing has always been here for me, it's what I need, you tell the truth to it. This is hurting me. And me saying I no longer participate in this is me loving myself and serving myself. So then every time you act outside of that, you're like, man, am I participating in self-hatred right here? Am I doing myself a disservice? Am I harming myself because I'm not choosing me and I'm choosing this thing? So you need to change your mindset about it so that it will be easier for you to walk away from it when you're ready to do it at the date that you set. So start telling yourself the truth. You've got to tell yourself the truth to it after you find the truth to it. So you want to write it on the paper in step 2. Set a date that you're going to do the thing in step 3. And then number 4, you change your mindset about how you feel about the thing. So it stops being your best friend, my buddy, my crutch, and it starts being something that doesn't make you feel good, because now you're honest about it and you're honest about why you've been participating in it. Okay, so here's step 5. Give yourself grace and take your time. So that's why I said you might not be ready, and that's okay, but I still want to give you guys the information, because at some point what happens is the things that you are being asked, instructed to let go of, told to let go of, pushed to let go of, will get ripped away from you if you do not let them go on your own. So it's much easier to break away from something that doesn't serve you with your own volition than it is to be like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Everything is crumbling around me. You're not ready for that. So if you've been getting the call, it's really time for you to stop doing this, or you really need to start doing this. You really, 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 really need to. You know you need to. You're hearing it. It could even just be you need to drink more water. So I'll tell you my story. I was pouring out so much. Pouring out, giving. And I was neglecting myself, because I was kind of in this mode of like, I've got to figure out how I'm supposed to move right here. I have to figure all these things out. So ultimately, I passed out in public, because I need to go sit my ass down somewhere and allow the divine to do the divine's work. So I didn't stop, and I mean, of course I was embarrassed, because I totally passed out in public, and I was like, oh my God. So I already knew though that I wasn't drinking enough water, but I also wasn't filling my energetic cup too, because I was pouring out so much. But I needed that experience, because I would not have seen it. I wouldn't have taken the action to pour into myself more had I not been pushed by the divine to say, go sit the fuck down somewhere with that experience. So that's generally what happens whenever we don't pay attention to what they're saying. When there's a call that says it's time for you to do this, it's time for you to move like this, you got to move like this, and you can sort of feel that resistance, because the stuff that you do does not feel good. You can tell I'm kind of operating out of alignment right here. So the more you continue to operate out of that alignment, the system is going to break down on you, because it's time for you to move in a different direction. Okay, but do give yourself grace and take your time. But again, the first step is to decide that you are ready to let go. Okay, so that's step 1, and then just be honest about it. Change how you feel about it. Set a date for you to advance. Okay, all right. I don't think I have anything else today. Again, if you are interested in joining us on the Cosmic Beach, now the Cosmic Beach right now is exclusively for the ladies. Okay, it's exclusive to the ladies, mamas who are growing through it, baby. And this morning I pulled, and I want to share this with you guys. I pulled this card, the 8 of Cups, this morning, in the morning vibe on the Cosmic Beach. And that card is about going on a journey, a spiritual journey, which is what we're doing. But you're not able to go on the journey and stay put. So you really have to work to let go of the way you were, maybe the person that you were, the name that you had, the job that you had, the behaviors that you had, and the vibration that you had in order for you to go on this journey. Okay. So if you need help, let me know. Hit me up at www.mscreativeaf.com. In the meantime, remember that you are divine and everything is mighty fine. Okay. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys next week. Remember, don't be a self-hater. Okay.